loving these Class of 2020 episodes. We've got a guest just opposite me in the studio today. It's part of a little group of guys, 2020 AFL draftees that we've been talking to every 6 months for the last year or so from St Kilda today. As I said, just sitting opposite me, Matty, Allison. How are you, Matty?
I'm good, thanks, Harps. Great to be in here, mate. Love the studio. It's good to finally meet you in person as well. We've done obviously a couple of Zooms, so good to come in and meet you today, mate. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we were talking maybe a few months ago. I met your dad at the Coburg Footy Club. Yeah.
Yeah. He said that. He comes home that night and he goes, I met someone that you that you know today. And I was like, oh, yeah. And he goes, he's interviewed you before. And I said, that's Harps, isn't it? And he goes, yeah, that's it, Harps. So apparently you're doing a documentary for it. How's that all going?
It's going all right. I think it might stay a bit under the radar. So no, I think you're allowed to say it. Just can't give too many details.
Oh, okay.
I think better safe than sorry.
Yeah, sorry. My bad. My bad. I look forward to seeing it anyway.
Yeah, it'll be good. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully, I can do it justice. But how was your off season, mate? Do you get to go anywhere? Anything like that?
It was a good off season. Off season's always good to get away and mentally refresh. At the start, it was pretty boring, to be honest, because we're in lockdown and weren't able to do a lot. But actually, I think it was the day New South Wales opened their border. I'm like to a couple of mates, do you want to go to Sydney for the weekend? They're like, yeah. So we booked the flight on the Friday morning. I was in Sydney by Friday night and we were there for a weekend. So that was great. I got up there, I saw some family, but also there was a few of the boys up there, Saints boys up there, so we got up with them and that was great. It was good to get up there and it was good weather too. So that was the only place I went to in the off season. But overall, it was great. Good to mentally refresh and get away.
Yeah. Did you get COVID over the off season?
No, I didn't. I was one of the few that didn't, and touch wood, it stays that way. But it looks like a lot of people have been affected within the AFL industry and obviously community as well. So hopefully I don't get it. Did you get it?
No, I haven't got it. Yeah, one of the last people standing.
We're doing all right.
We're doing all right. Doing very well. Hopefully we're not spreading it to each other right now. How did the Saints get hit hard? Fine?
We had a few guys that had it, probably more so just pretty much over that Christmas break. We had a few boys get it, but touch wood, everyone's healthy now and we haven't had any interruptions since. So it was, it's not like many of the boys missed training because it was all over their Christmas break. So, hopefully it stays that way throughout the season.
And uni, mate, you were saying you wanted to smash out some uni subjects over the off-season. Did you get around to that?
Yeah, I did. I got about 2 or 3 done. I got 3 done. And I pretty much got them done throughout that first part of the off-season because it was actually a longer off-season this year. I think it was about 12, 13 weeks off, which is it's usually about 9 or 10. So we had a few extra weeks, which was nice. So smashed all them out early because there was nothing else to do. So that was good.
What subjects were they? What are you doing?
So I'm still doing that my business sports management course. So can't remember the first one I did, but the other one was it's like information into business systems, and then the other one was business within the sport and rec industry. So I can't remember the other one I did, but I remember those two quite well. So
enjoying it though?
Yeah, it's good. It's a little bit tough now with footy, trying to juggle 2 commitments, but you just find a way, I suppose, and get it done. Yeah,
you're not doing it at all now? Just 100% focused on footy?
At the moment, I'm not doing it. I've enrolled for sort of the middle of the year, so I'll try and get a couple of subjects done in season. Find it a lot easier than doing it in pre-season, just because pre-season's so full on. And then I'll do what I did again in the off-season and try and get a few done.
Is that a special footy player thing, doing it in the middle of the year? Or like how does the uni manage that?
I think it's just based on player preference. So some guys like to do it in the pre-season, some guys like myself like to do it in season. And unis are really good about it. They usually have an elite athlete coordinator that you can liaise with to sort of pick your preferences when you want to do your subjects. So that always helps. But I think it just depends on the preference of the player. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Last episode, everyone that we spoke to, all 4 of you, spoke about the challenges of last season. Just so many with COVID, ridiculous. It's not been so much this pre-season in terms of COVID, but there would have been other challenges, I'm guessing. So tell me about your pre-season, Matt. Tell me about the possible challenges that you faced.
It was a good pre-season. This was in my first pre-season, I was sort of looked after a little bit and was sort of pulled in and out of drills, and sometimes I even missed the whole training just to do some gym work. So this pre-season hadn't missed a session, which was great. We brought in a new head of high performance in Nick Walsh over the off-season. So he's brought in he's been great addition to the club. We've been doing a lot more physical stuff, like swimming, boxing, bike as well. So that's been really good. Although the swimming, didn't really enjoy. I was like an anchor. Just every time I'd get in the water, I'd just go straight to the bottom. But it was great. It was he's really brought a different method into the way we go about things, and we can sort of see the benefits already. Guys are just saying how well they pull up from games and how fit they're feeling too. So it was a really, really good pre-season. They're always long and they're always hot and tiring, but this time of year it's always an exciting one because pretty much all the pre-season's done. It's now into games.
You mentioned the new staff just earlier there, and when I was at that Saints Bombers pre-season game just the other night, saw wandering around the boundary former Melbourne Victory coach Ernie Merrick, who I did not expect to see wearing a St Kilda polo.
Yep.
Does he have much involvement with you, or is he like the coaching mentor? What's he do?
He's a coaching mentor for Rats, yeah.
Okay.
So he's been great for Rats. Rats has been really, you can tell that it's been really good for Rats to have Ernie there. He's always given Rats tips and advice, which is great. So, yeah, he doesn't really spend a lot of time with the playing group. It's more, mentoring Rats and also the other coaches too. So he's a great addition. His record sort of speaks for itself, and like you said, it was well documented with Melbourne Victory and I think Wellington Phoenix as well.
I think he coached the Newcastle Jets as well.
Yeah,
Wellington too. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's had a lot of exposure and he's very successful. So it's great to have him.
He's from Scotland, so not sure he knows too much about the defensive positioning and all that footy-wise. But yeah, it's good to see him helping out Rats. But you personally, you didn't get on the park in that AFL pre-season game, but you've been playing some VFL prackies, yeah? Yeah,
we've played about 2 VFL prackies so far. So we played Carlton and just recently Port Melbourne as of played them on Saturday 2 days ago. So that was good. Good to dust the cobwebs out. It's been good to play against some opposition too because we've just been playing against ourselves, and so it's always nice to have a hit out against some opposition. So it was, fingers crossed, can get an opportunity this year at AFL level, but it's always nice to be back playing footy. As you know, last year we didn't get a heap of opportunity to do that. So,
Have you been performing in those VFL practices? Been going all right?
I've been a little bit up and down. The Carlton game, I was a bit off. Did all right on the weekend. Just got moved up onto the wing, so that was nice. Got a little bit more of it and felt like I got a bit more involved. So, look, it's only 2 games against opposition and practice games, so that's what practice games are for, just to sort of see where you're at and what you can sort of improve and build on. So hopefully I'm primed for once round 1 comes around.
Yeah, definitely not too serious results-wise, because you tell me they didn't even have a scoreboard out at, where was it?
Seaford.
Yeah.
Down in Seaford, yeah. No scoreboard. So, yeah, I think we won, but don't quote me on it because, no scoreboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're still playing as a defender?
Yeah, still playing as a defender. Just mentioned, though, I played on the wing on the weekends as well. So I played a half as a back and half as a wing and really enjoyed the wing. It was good. Felt like I could really use my attributes there. But, still playing down back, and I think that's where they'll keep me for this year. But who knows, things can change. I could end up playing wing or going back forward, not too sure yet, but still down back. Any
tips or tricks or nuggets of advice that you've been given in this pre-season?
I think just probably the big one is just keep working on your deficiencies. So mine's probably my contest work that I've really got to work on. But I think the other thing as well that coaches and players have been really trying to drive is just playing to your strengths. So I'm obviously, everyone's there for a reason because they've all got different attributes and assets. So it's just making sure that you show them on the park and show why you're meant to be there.
Who are the defensive coaches at the Saints at the moment?
So we just brought in, we had a couple of changes in the off-season actually with some coaches. So Aaron Hamill was our defensive coach last year, but he's now moved to Carlton. And we brought in Corey Enright from Geelong. So another bloke who's got unbelievable record, six-time All-Australian or something, 300 and something games. So a lot of experience, 3-time premiership player as well. So he's come into the program and had a huge impact on myself, but also all the other backs as well. And then our development coach, who's actually our VFL coach, Jake Batchelor, who I've spent a fair bit of time with, is also working with us backs. So they're both great additions to the club.
Since coming on board, you were saying Corey Enright helped you massively, but what's he told you? How's he helped you? You can get as technical as you'd like here.
Well, he's just, like I've mentioned before, he's another one that just wants you to play to your strengths, and obviously, as a defender, your mindset's got to be defend first. That's your number one priority. But once you've defended or you've got your opponent done or whatever, it's just like, okay, how can you sort of offensively get used? So I've been watching a fair bit of vision with him and Jake Batchelor as well about ways where I can get used offensively as well, and obviously that will help me get in the game too. So that's sort of what he's been working on me with, and then obviously working with the other backs, trying to build good connection with them leading into the year. So like I said, Boris has been a great addition to the club, and you can already see the changes that he's made, and that obviously we've already played a couple of games now, and you can really see the mindset and how well we're going down as a back six. So it's good. Have your strengths changed or adapted since we last spoke? They haven't really changed. They've adapted, I think. I only played a half on the wing, but probably one of the biggest attributes is my running, and I felt like I was really able to utilise that playing on the wing. And then I'm slowly starting to work away, because I'm obviously probably not at a size where I can body up my opponents, so it's working around ways where I can impact without having to body up too much. So use my run and jump to try and either spoil or mark. So that's a slow progress. I have seen improvements, but still got a bit to go. But I haven't had too much change in regards to my strengths, but I think it's more just my strengths are starting to adapt to the position I'm playing. Is there a particular skill over the preseason that is just developed in leaps and bounds and you've just skyrocketed in terms of the skill level? I think my footwork has been something that I've noticed has been a big change when I'm sort of launching at the ball with regards to running and jumping at it. So I'm starting to read the flight of the ball a little bit better. So and footwork plays a big part in that as well. So if you don't have correct technique with regards to your footwork, you can either misjudge the flight of the ball or get caught under it. So I think that I've really started to notice that, and even some of the coaches have said they've noticed that too. So that's probably a skill that's improved over this pre-season. And do you reckon you're more likely to, if you get a spot in the 22 for AFL, you reckon it's more likely to be on a wing or back six? I think it'd be more likely back six. I'm not 100% sure because that was still the first game that I've played on the wing. So they haven't really been able to see what I'm like as a winger just yet. I've just been training as a back and playing as a back. So but who knows? I'm not 100% sure, but I think most likely be in that back six. Yeah. What's the pecking order like in the back six? I'm not really an expert on the Saints. What's the depth like back there? We've got a lot of depth actually. Competition for spots is going to be it's going to be pretty tough this year. I think so. Sort of the back six at the moment, or sort of the keys at the moment that are in the team are probably like Dougal Howard, Cal Wilkie, and Josh Battles. So they're probably the ones that I'm sort of up against, and then you got guys that are in the VFL with me like Dara Joyce, Tom Highmore, as well as Oscar Adams, one of our new boys. So it's going to be it's great. And we're all healthy, so it's good to have that competition, I suppose, and hopefully, touch wood, hopefully no one gets injured. But I think it's great that if we do lose players, that we've got guys who are ready made who can come straight in and fulfil a role. So it's good. Yeah, last year smacked by injuries. Yeah, got emergency a few times yourself. Like you were going to be next cab off the rank, really. You were saying last time, but much healthier list at this stage of the season at the moment. Yep. Have the coaches told you how close you are to best 22? I haven't had too much conversation with him. I think for me, it's more just playing VFL and working my way in the VFL system. So, I haven't had too much dialogue with the coaches with regards to how close I am, but I think if I start, it's pretty much on me now. I've got to go and play some good footy and then hopefully push my case. I've got to make sure that I'm consistent. So, not too much dialogue about where I'm sitting at the moment, no.
How's the team gone as a whole? Do you reckon you're looking in good nick?
Yeah, I think we are. And, I mean, it's funny, like, everyone this time of year, look, all 18 teams are on even. Like, everyone's looking good in pre-season.
Yeah.
I've been really impressed with our pre-season this year, and particularly with regards to our standards. We're really driving professional standards, and everyone has, been... We've sort of got these three pillars that we like to sort of live by, and that's like competitive, team first, and professional. And if we're all living by those standards, which I think we are, we're going to be a pretty good team. So,
is that a new thing this year?
We've always sort of had our own sort of pillars, but these we've sort of renamed them this year. And
right.
Like I said, we're all living by that at the moment, and I'm pretty excited to see what we can do because we're a pretty talented list. We've got some great players, so I think Saints fans should be excited for what 2022 holds.
What were the pillars before? Do you remember?
They were pretty similar with regards to competitive and team first. I actually can't quite remember the ones from last year. Just because you talk about your new ones, you just forget about the old ones, I suppose. But I can't quite remember.
So you're saying that the team's looking really good at the moment. Obviously didn't quite meet expectations, internal expectations and external expectations last season as a team. How's this season different?
Well, I think for us this year, we want to be back playing finals and contending. And I've no doubt we've got the capability to do that. I mentioned before, we've got a really talented list and a really driven group too. So, we want to be playing finals this year. We want to be contending. So, it's probably last year, it was probably a lot of expectation on us to play finals and do well. Whereas this year there's not too much difference. I think we just want to be playing finals like every other team. And so hopefully we can do that. And I've got no doubt that if we play our best footy, we're going to be pretty hard to beat. So
you were probably saying a similar thing last year though.
Yeah.
Is the atmosphere different at all this year and the performance levels?
Not really. It's probably more need to answer that when the season's probably in its sort of when we're halfway through the season or whatever. Because pre-season you start from scratch. Everyone's, like I said, everyone's on 0 points, 0 wins, 0 losses. So everyone's even. So it's just I think this year we want to be playing finals. That's the aim. That's the goal. And we want to be contending. So.
What do you want to be doing personally? What are you aiming for?
I'd love to play. There's no doubt about that. Play at the level, and that's my number one goal. So I want to be hopefully get an opportunity at some stage this year playing AFL, and then want to have I want to have a really consistent year, whether that's at AFL or VFL level, and then just be best teammate person I can be. So not much has changed from sort of goals last year. They're pretty similar. So, but number one is to play AFL, yeah.
Well, how are you going to get there to play AFL? What are you going to be doing to get that spot in the 22?
Well, I'll be definitely trying to find some consistency in the VFL. So I'll be making sure that I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I'm consistent. So whether that's going through clips with coaches around things I can work on, or do some extra craft in the basketball court or whatever to improve on a few things. And then just making sure that I'm preparing as well as ever, pre and post game as well. So making sure recovery's my key, and that I'm mentally prepped as well. So whether that's through mindfulness, meditation, to make sure that I'm mentally engaged and ready for the game.
So you big on the mindfulness and meditation?
Yeah, it's a big part of our system that we've brought. With our psych, Benny Robbins is fantastic in that space. We do sort of meditation as a group nearly every day, actually. But some guys do it away from the club too. I'm someone that does a little bit as well outside of the club. So yeah, and we've just built the Danny Frawley Centre. I touched on before we started airing that. Yeah, we've just built that centre, which is pretty much a mindfulness centre. So we'll be utilising that a fair bit this year in regards to the mental health space.
So Mindfulness Centre, what is that? What's in the Danny Fuller Centre? Is it just empty rooms and like soft couches, or what is it?
So it just opened about a week ago. Actually opened to the public today, I think. So it's open to the public. So they've just built a pool, and then they've got a recovery centre which isn't quite finished yet, but they're going to add some ice baths in there, some saunas I think as well. I can't remember the other two that they're putting in there, but it's going to be based around recovery, and then that's in the downstairs part, and then upstairs is it's pretty much for people who want to be able to improve, need some mental health advice or need some help, that they can go and utilise some of the. So our cycle will be in there. There'll be a few other groups in there as well. I'm not quite sure who will be in there, but it's just going to be used to hopefully help people who are struggling or need some advice. So the club has done an immense job in getting this facility up and running, and it's going to be really exciting to see. Hopefully we can create change and help people to overcome their mental health issues and speak up as well. I think that's a big thing that we're trying to drive with the Danny Frawley Centre.
This whole focusing on mental health in sport is quite new, right? So before you got into the professional AFL environment, how did you view mindfulness? Because probably less so now, but even in recent years, probably lots of footy players thought they were too tough for this, like focusing on their mental health and all that soft shit. So how did you view it before you came in?
To be honest, I never ever did meditation or never even thought about mindfulness before I got picked up. But the other thing as well is why mindfulness is so important within professional sport is it actually helps on field, not just off field. So it helps you improve your decision making, reaction time, and it also it helps you stay in the present too for longer. So because in a game you got to make so many decisions, and you got to try and make the best decisions every time. So if you're making sure that you're if you are following with your mindfulness and your meditation, it's going to help you improve on game day too. So and I've found that since I've got to the club and I've been meditating and really making mindfulness a big forefront of my mind, it's helped with my performance on game day too. So because you can have all the physical attributes and you can be quick, you can have a good kick, you can be a good mark, but if you're not mentally in the game or in the moment, because there's so many, as you know, in the AFL world, there's so many pressures to perform every week. It's so important to make sure that you're mentally and physically ready to play. So, but I never really took much part in mindfulness before I got to the club. It's the first time I've really been involved with it.
So if there's someone listening today who's thought about getting into mindfulness but hasn't really prioritised it, got around to it before, what would you say to them to kind of prod them in the right direction to start focusing on that kind of stuff?
There's so many. I think the big thing is there's so many benefits to mindfulness in meditation in particular, because it not only, if you look at it in a footy sense, it helps you improve, like I said, on game day. But if you're looking at it just from a normal perspective, it can help someone drastically. You can feel a lot more calm. You don't feel as tense or stressed because your mind's just trained to be calm and in the moment. And I think that's the big one, is just being in the present. So, everyone lives different lives. Everyone's got their own little things going on in their life. But if you're not in the present, people can have struggles. So that's a big one for me, is just it helps you staying in the moment, in the present, not worrying it, and taking you away from your worries that you might have in everyday life.
Last two episodes when we spoke, both like this time last year and 6 months ago, which I encourage people to check out, Class of 2020 with you spoke about your life philosophy that your grandpa told you, no one's perfect. Is there a time since we've last spoke that you've used that or thought about it in particular?
Not that I can recall off the top of my head. I think No, not particularly, to be honest. I mean, you might see something in the news where someone's made a mistake or done something that's out of the ordinary or whatever, that you might go, yeah, look, he's made a mistake. No one's perfect. But there's not one that really sort of stands out from my personal experience. It's probably more just if you see something out there, someone makes a mistake. Yeah, we all make mistakes. No one's perfect. So
yeah, it's a good philosophy to have. Get that, mate. It's very good. But I think that just about wraps us up. So thank you very much for joining us again. We'll chat in 6 months or so, I guess. But thanks for joining me today in the studio, Matt. It's been a pleasure.
My absolute pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me. It's been good to come in and have a chat. So I look forward to catching up in 6 months' time.
In person. Love it.
Yeah,
Thank you,
love
mate.
it.
Thanks for listening, guys.